Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. In the absence of the chairman and vice chairman, you need to nominate the chairman for the meeting, please, councillors.
Can I nominate Clive, please?
I nominate Stephen.
So we've got it for it's four.
Just been cooking, just been planting.
Have we not got a second for either of those?
Clive's refusing to meet the nomination.
And Steve?
Stephen on the committee.
Oh, he's not on the committee, that's right. We have a problem, colleagues. Miles. We have a problem that on this list of things to do, I've always felt it wrong, but whatever our internal arguments, we should pay the people who do work for us. Secondly, we've got 2 quotes for hanging baskets, and I suspect unless that's agreed tonight, it will not happen. And thirdly, the fireworks display has always been on November the 5th since forever. Unless we get that agreed, then I suspect that that event would have to be cancelled. So Clive, I'll ask you again, please, to reconsider.
I'll come in for an opinion. The first opinion is we don't have to have a finance meeting purely to do the checks and payments, because the council quite recently, or the finance committee, and I'm looking at the clerk for a nod, passed a motion where the clerk, the senior assistant and one of the councillor can sign all the checks. Does that include the payments for the staff?
That was a resolution of who can sign, but it doesn't change the fact that the council approves the payments.
So we still need to approve payments. Right, and the other part is, yes they are, there's quotes on for the hanging baskets and the bonfire. I personally don't believe that's absolutely necessary to make a decision, and because there's such high sums on them figures, I personally believe that them 2 items should be put on to the next full new council meeting where the new councillors can decide on. So in that case then, all we need is somebody to sit in the chair to open the meeting to approve payments, and then if you so wish, close the meeting. Simple as that. And if nobody's going to step up to the plate, well, the meeting just gets cancelled. It's as simple as that.
Stuart, why don't you just do it?
I say I'm not on the committee, so I can't do
Oh,
it.
God, God.
There's other people sat here who are not willing to step up, like Clive. Why should I do it?
I'm more than happy to chair the meeting to get it out of the way, but it has to be a decision of the council's president. I'll move in to chair. It's happy to do that.
Right, let's get the ball going.
Right, okay. Right, thank you. Apologies for absence, there are a good number in the book. Gordon and Steve, have you signed in yet?
Yes.
All right, good. Item 2, to disclose members' interest. Are there any? Identify items which the press and public may be excluded. I don't think there are any. Item 4, to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on May the 16th. Can we agree those? All the chair. Seconded? Well, I can second those here. All those in favour? Thank you. Oh, Wednesday the 8th of April, please. Can we agree those minutes as well? All agree? All accept that? Thank you. Right, to approve payments and sign cheques. I have signed them, and Dominic has countersigned them.
Can I come and ask a question?
No, I'm sorry, but you're not a member of the subcommittee.
So you're going to stop Stephen from speaking as well, are you?
Yep.
Right, I'd like to ask a question is, why have you signed the cheques when they've not been approved?
The cheques are not payable until this council agrees. Whether they're signed, well, they can be agreed, but they're not, if you like, legal until that council has agreed them.
So if we haven't...
Hang on a minute, it's been customary to sign them and to countersign them. They are still not legal until this council agrees.
It may be customary for your convenience, but at the end of the day, you should not be signing cheques on this council until council have approved the cheques and payments.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Well, I may well be, well, I'm not wrong, I'm right. You should not be signing cheques until they've been approved by this council. Simple as that.
Right.
And this is what's been happening
That is the
typically
point of
for
view,
years.
and you're entitled to that point of view. You're not entitled to speak at this meeting. All those in favour of making those payments, please show up. Stephen, you're not a member of this council, of this
It's custom and practice for non-members to be able to speak and take part in the debate.
So it's custom and practice to sign cheques.
Orders were changed. Strictly spoken.
Is Stephen
It's
entitled
custom and
to
practice, that is true.
Governing orders were changed 2 years ago, which hasn't been the case since.
Right, okay. Stephen, please.
So we've got people living outside this village.
Please, can we
People
not?
living outside this village, stopping people who live inside this village from representing those that elected them. That's typical of what's happened the last 4 years.
Okay, thank you for that. All those in favour of making those payments, please show. Those against? Right, that's agreed. To receive a report on debtors, can we just...
Right, can I ask a question on debtors?
No.
Well, I'm going to insist, because you haven't got a right to turn around and stop me attending these meetings when you're part of the stitch-up that did it in the first place.
Look, as I put this,
You put it anywhere you want, because at the end of the day,
we
you
don't...
are denying people who elected me the democratic right for me to represent them.
The parish council, by resolution, moved to remove you from all
Or
subcommittees.
the parish council, no, we'll rephrase that, the Labour Party moved, with the co-option of
Okay,
Brindley and John Ireland moved to remove me from committees.
and that
And it
was
was a
done.
political move and a
And that was
vindictive
done.
move, and you were part of that vindictive and
No,
political move.
You see, you make this mistake.
I don't make no mistake.
I was not here on either of the occasions that you were actually removed.
You don't have to be, Ian. You ring everybody up
Okay.
and tell them what to say.
You're stopping democratically elected people
Right, we've got
from representing the people who voted for them.
We've got two quotes that
Time
haven't
you
passed
went.
it. Would somebody like to move which one we would accept? Dominic?
Yes, well, I mean, we've worked with Anston for a number of years. I suggest we go with them again. It's one of the few things, you know, that we're able to do that every year we get a lot of
I'm on the top. We've now got two councillors deciding now to spend
Is it- could you
thousands of
please-
pounds of your money when they haven't got the guts to stand for election. They've left us in a mess with the finances already, and now they're wanting to spend another £6,000–7,000 of your money.
Chair, may I move that we accept Anston's...
Is that seconded? Clive?
Can I just ask you a question?
Yep.
And it's,
Or Gordon?
it's to Michael or anything. Just looking through the two quotes.
Could you use the microphone,
Oh,
please,
sorry.
Clive?
I apologise.
You'll have to pull it nearer, it doesn't work.
Is it working?
No.
No? No.
It is working, is it? Could you, Clive, just say what it is you need to say, please?
We'd like to hear it, please.
With the members of the public, stop trying to interrupt
No.
and stop trying to bully
No.
the councillors.
No.
According
I will not.
Can I ask the chair to stop shouting at members of the public? You've
That
been
would be
doing this for
nice.
years.
Right,
There's
so
no
you
reason-
please say what you're going to say.
The question is about it just says 16-week display. I spoke to Mike about this the other week, that actually they're normally up for longer than 16 weeks. I'm below if they actually started taking them down at 16 weeks when there's still some, when there's still some life left in them. And the only other thing was making sure that the trees and such like are properly cut back before we put them up. Are they actually going on all the existing brackets? Because I was wondering whether we could actually maybe move some around. I'm not sure about the split, wherever the brackets are. Well, if you can say as well, do we check the brackets for stability and stuff like that? Is that left to the contractor? I know last year there were one or two that were worse for wear that wanted straight, so I presume that they did that way as well, comparatively. Nothing else to say.
Can I just say how much the cost?
Can we come back to this, Clive?
They failed to say how much the cost of these baskets. And well, we're looking at here. We've already mentioned the figure. Or have we mentioned the figure?
There are two figures. One is 7,200 and something, and the other one is £7,008.
Oh.
Clive, if we agree
So we've got
to go,
people.
will you
We've got
please,
people. We're not going to be on this council next year.
will you please not interrupt?
Making decisions, spending thousands of pounds of your money, and they're doing it deliberately. They've already left us in a mess with the
Right.
precept. And I think
let the clerk
this should be
speak,
withheld
please.
until the new council.
We've got the
Here,
two
here.
quotes, the two quotes.
Here, here.
Excuse me, we've got two quotes here. One quote is for actually 6,015 plus VAT. To get the
All
VAT
right.
back. The other one is 7,008, but they're not VAT registered, so you have to pay 7,008. So that's £2,000 cheaper one.
Dominic,
Chair, as I say, I mean, Hobson's have been very good over the years. When brackets have broke, I think one broke last year at the top of the vault, they came and repaired it. So I'd be happy to move that we accept Hobson's again this year.
right, I'd be happy to second that with the two parts that Clive has mentioned. One, that they check the brackets, please, and secondly, that they trim back the vegetation, particularly on the left side of North Nessy Road. Is that acceptable to those that can vote? Will you please show? Okay, thank you, that's carried. To receive update on building valuation and approve course of action. Have we got notes on that? Michael?
I'm taking it out tonight.
So the buildings valuation again on school ratings for the three companies that I mentioned at a previous meeting. The three companies that I mentioned at a previous meeting to come back with quotes, and those will be brought to the finance or to the council.
Okay, so that's items deferred for further information. Purchase of replacement hedge trimmer. You've got figures here. The best quote is £375 plus that from Magna. Are we happy to go ahead with that?
Yes, I mean, the clerk chair does seem to have sought more quotes than actually the seminar was required to do so.
So, Clive, are you happy to go with that?
Yeah, we need it, don't we?
Right, all those in favour, please show. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with you, it is needed. Will you please not interrupt? To consider item 10, to item 10, to consider single quote for fireworks display and to suspend financial regulation 10.3 to do that. The quote is from our usual suppliers and the person that actually does the fireworks display. Somewhere I've got it. There we have. The The total price is 6,125 plus VAT, or 7,250 including it. The budget includes design, choreography, preparation, risk assessment documents, an experienced site crew, firing equipment, transport, pyrotechnics and £10 million public liability insurance. Could I have somebody move that we accept that quote, please? Is that second? Is that second?
Can I ask why are you doing a single quote? Every year, the Labour Party members around this table, when it comes to bonfire night, they stop the quote process deliberately in order for one company to get this contract. Nothing to do with the company. But that is bad practice because it means we never get a chance to compare figures with other companies. It's bad practice by the Labour Party, by people who are now going to step down off the council, and yet again they're going to cause you to pay more money in this council on the council precinct. It's disgusting, and these two people shouldn't even be discussing it. If they had any integrity, they will turn around and say, we're not going to discuss this because we're not going to be part of this council, if they have any integrity.
The one question that is always left hanging is, for years, the parish council has done a firework display. It started when we first moved here in the 70s in South Anston. It moved to Anston Park School, then to Greenlands. When it was at the Greenlands, a number of councillors, including me, were trained and set the fireworks off ourselves. It has always been on November the 5th. We've had, I think he's a farmer by normal trade from Derbyshire, who is prepared to do that on November the 5th, regardless of the day of the week. And this council systematically has supported that event. Now we've got a quote here. I've got to say this, that if we could have a normal discussion, when we're doing the budget setting, it's possible we could have gone out for more quotes.
Nothing to do with the budget, stop waffling.
But you see, yet again,
nothing to do with the budget.
that we cannot have a discussion because somebody is...
No, because you're misleading the public. You're misleading the public. We have no discussions over the bonfire figures at the budget meetings. It's very rare we have any discussions at all in the budget meeting to do with the bonfire night. The new council that's coming in shortly may wish to decide they don't want it on the 5th of November. They may want it on one of the weekends nearer, which may just be cheaper for the people of Anston. I think it's wrong that you're stepping down and you're voting and promoting costs to this council that can be reduced.
Very good. Right.
Chair, I will be very fast.
Clive.
Can I speak on it? Is this phase?
Yeah.
Do we have to decide on this today, or have we got leeway till next council meeting?
I mean, the only problem we've got is, obviously, time is of the essence, and it's 5th of November can be quickly booked up elsewhere. The problem we have with competitive quotes is that how do you know you're getting a competitive quote? Because, you know, we're getting the fireworks display, we've had it for many, many years, 20 years or whatever. We know that they produce something the public enjoy in a safe manner, and we've been very consistent and reliable. If we go for another company, then we will get the same visual display, I don't know. We'll get the same reliability, I don't know.
But as a council, we should be seen to be getting best value for money.
Right. Sorry, Clive, Gordon, if you want to speak after Clive, please.
Let's take Councillor Donald's point that it may be that it's a Thursday night, I think, this year, it may be that we move it to another. I mean, I don't know what the councillors' views are, but as I say, I'd like it deferred until the next council meeting. Not necessarily to get another quote, but just to have a different discussion on it.
Well, Dominic, if you're moving with it, we accept paying this quote for November the 5th, and I will second that. Those people in favour, please show.
Spending your money.
Those people against, please show.
No integrity.
Right, in that case, I'll use my casting vote to say that it will go ahead on November the 5th. What happens after that will be a matter for the new council. Right, to resolve to adjourn the meeting in order to allow the public to raise any issues. Yes, one. This is Sat 2. This is Sadler. Your question, please.
Could we have the names of the other quotes for the hanging baskets, please? I know Hobson's, and I would recommend them personally, but I would like to know who else submitted a quote, a cheaper quote.
No, the lowest quote was Hobson's. Excuse me, the other quote was Thursby Nurseries, which was, if they've got their VAT correct, it was £800 more.
More?
More expensive. You say we've accepted the cheapest.
100 plus more first.
The figures are there, so there is a huge difference.
£800.
More than 800.
Did you have 3 quotes?
What we don't know, without that, do we get that back? Without that, Hobson's quoted £6,015.
Did you quote a company who doesn't pay VAT?
Thursby do not mention VAT. Oh, they're not VAT registered. Sorry, Michael said that.
Right.
Their quote is £7,008. So if they're not VAT registered,
right,
you can't reclaim it.
There is a difference in £993 between the two quotes.
Right.
So that is considerable.
Okay.
so
Next question.
why are you not accepting the cheaper quote?
We have done that.
You just said, did you say, Clive? Sorry if I misheard.
Thursby's you can't get VAT back on Thursby's, but we can get VAT back on Hobson's.
So it will work out cheaper.
It takes it £993 cheaper than Thursby's. So
Thank you for explaining that, Clive.
I'd like to know who inspects skateboard park, who maintains it, who says it's okay to use, and could we meet them and discuss conditions? At the moment it needs repairs, and it's an eyesore, I mean, for the parish of Anston, for any visitors coming. I've just walked up there now and it's just rubbish and tins and it's terrible. The children came in here personally and begged for a dustbin.
Right, I understand your concern, but it's not an agenda item and therefore it's not under discussion now. Could I suggest that you speak to either the councillor or to the clerk and pursue it individually?
I'll tell you.
Right.
It's a charity matter. So if you write to Michael.
Yes, any last question?
Well, can I just ask Michael, because I haven't got a lot of time for writing letters.
Right.
Can I just like ask
The meeting's going to
Michael
finish soon. so
when he's
that's
finished
time.
is doing what he's doing?
Okay,
Right, that's what I'll do then.
Mrs. Strada Hay.
Thank you. Item 6, debtors report.
Yes.
Did we have the debtors report?
Well, the debtors report is in front of us and there are a list of names.
It's not,
The total, it's in front of the council or the finance company. The total is £90. I have to say that at a meeting of the allotments working group last week, the assistant clerk is aware of this, and I said, have you got any concerns over individuals here? And I was told no, and that's fine. It's up to other people if they wish to pursue that. But
So again, now you're misleading the public because...
look, can we stop this continual bickering? Yes, sorry, your second question.
I'm not misleading the public, you are. The question, the point I'm making is, we're not in debt with debtors for £90. What about the first was there?
Yes.
well, at a previous meeting, we got debts of £8,000. I believe, and it was mentioned, I'm not being given any confidence about, that the play school, or children's group, whatever it's called, was in debt to quite a considerable sum. The allotments, the rents hadn't been collected. That was added into the sum, and the football people, they hadn't paid their rent.
It's next door, the left-hand entrance.
And that came, and those cumulative debts came to about £8,000.
Right.
So are you saying
is that the sheet in front of us is totally and solely allotment holders.
Well, you just told us £90, it's actually £77.73.
Well, what about the rest
So,
of
hang on a moment, hang on a moment. Look,
No.
I know that Mr. Thornton is here just to heckle, but the total is...
Mr. Thornton is here to represent me because I voted for him.
Please, will you stop
Thank
shouting
you.
at me?
No.
The total is £15.41 from 13-14 and 77.73 from 14-15. So that is approximately...
So it shouldn't be so.
Right. And the other matters which are quite clearly important are charity matters. This is just council matters.
So I was right.
Okay.
Misleading us, wasn't it?
So,
I was right.
no, you never...
Could you repeat that, please, Chairman?
What do you want me to repeat?
I said, you saying there's
No,
£90 debt, so there's approximately £8,000.
No, you're putting words into my mouth. Yes, you are. I'll be absolute.
I'm asking you.
I will be absolutely
You're asking
specific.
not to shout
The
at members
figures.
of the public. All you have to do is shout at members
Councillor
of the
Thornton,
public.
if you'd stop interrupting, we could have a sensible, calm discussion. Stop it.
Don't threaten me and don't shout at members of the public. Now you're threatening me and now you're shouting at members of the public.
Do you call yourself sensible, Ian?
You know.
The
And the code of conduct says you have
stop
to treat people with
interrupting.
respect. Don't shout at me. Don't shout and threaten me.
Hey, we're on camera. Oh, right.
Do you know, it makes no odds whether I'm on camera or not. I will be as absolutely straight as I can be. The figures in front of
That'd be
us
a
are
first.
to do with the council, and they are to do with allotments. The other figures are charity matters, and they're not up for discussion now. Right. If that's to discuss any items that we haven't got any date and time. Next meeting is Wednesday the 6th of May at 7:30. At 7:30 today, I declare that meeting closed.
Shout at members of the public.
Oh, Stuart, please grow up and allow people to behave.
Take your own advice, Ian.
Now you should be.
Right, can we have nominations? Can we have nominations to chair the council meeting? Clive, can I nominate you?
I'll nominate Steve.
Sorry, Steve, what was that?
Not prepared to accept nomination.
Clive, are you prepared to accept nominations?
Can I raise a point of order, Mr Chairman?
The meeting is finished. We can have an informal discussion.
Well, hang on.
No, the meeting for finance is
Well, I don't care. Everybody else has had the same. We've got date and time of the next meeting, 6th of May. That's on the eve of the general election. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's been in the diary for, I presume, 12 months. It's been in my diary for that time.
But when is the next meeting then?
Sorry?
When is the next
The
meeting?
6th of May.
On the eve of the general election.
Yeah. Right. Two people have been nominated to chair the parish council meeting.
I nominate you, Councillor Seaver, to chair the meeting. That's 3 people who've been nominated.
Is that seconded? Right. Move nomination to closed. All right, I will chair it. What I was saying, well, hang on a minute, now then, what I was saying is I would not,
I haven't voted yet.
I know, I would not, if I go into the chair, I will not have continual interruptions either from you or any other councillor or from members of the public.
Now he's
If that is unreasonable, then it's so weird, but I am not prepared
Now
to be
he's threatening
treated as if
people.
I have crawled from under a stone.
You're threatening people
Right.
before we've even started. That's no way
No,
to
I'm
handle it.
not threatening you, I'm telling you what will happen.
Threatening
Right,
behaviour.
will you stop cross-talking at me?
Will you stop shouting at me?
Right, I'm told that there are no other nominations, so I will duly declare the parish council meeting open.
You still haven't voted for it yet.
Don't need to, because there weren't any other nominations.
You didn't need to.
Hang on a moment, there were no other nominations that were seconded.
No, there was a nomination here and a nomination there.
It wasn't. He refused to stand. Yes, Clive, please, Clive, please talk some sense.
Can I just
And I
suggest
started
that
doing something and now Councillor St John.
You behave so badly, what do you expect? Clive,
deferring items because councillors aren't here, or it's not relevant to discuss it, do we have to take those now or can we? I'm just trying to get through business, there's some items that are down there, we're either not going to be discussed because people aren't here, there's no point.
could we knock them off as we get?
Yeah,
Well, defer.
I'm quite happy to do that, but the record I've gone through this probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, probably about 13 items we can dispense with.
Right, okay.
From my point of view, anyway.
Public session, presentation from a guest speaker. Miles, have you anything to say? No. Is Mrs. Williams here?
No.
No. Allow questions relating to the Anston Parish recreation ground, which will be related to the charity. Are any questions on that?
Is this where...
No. Allow representation regarding planning. Well, excuse me, could we get the meeting going?
You're not pausing to it's wait for anybody to answer your question.
Have you know, if you have a question to ask relating to the parish recreation ground, would you please raise your hand?
You're not watching it, all the time.
Right. What is your question, please?
Is the registered charity, which will be related to the charity, can I bring forward my question regarding the outstanding debt of £8,000 as it was presented at a meeting previously? And let us have an explanation of where we are with that.
Right. The situation is that the clerk will make a note of that question. It will be related to related to charity. Yes. Second question.
Can the charity lend money?
No.
Who lent the money to the playgroup?
The technical question. The technical question. I believe that basically the parish council has agreed on the repayment of the outstanding debts.
Who lent the money to the playgroup?
It wasn't lent. It was
lent.
No, it wasn't lent.
Who is?
Who are the debtors?
It just wasn't collected.
But that's the same as a loan, is it not?
No.
Right. So the playgroup didn't pay up. So does that become a debt?
Yes.
Right. Who is it owed to?
The charity in the first case, but once the charity gets the repayment, it's paid across, I believe, to the parish council. Is it not?
It's not in charity's account.
Okay.
So
I'm at a slight disadvantage here because I was not part. I mean, I understand we've got a debt because they didn't pay their bills, but I wasn't part of the discussion with the playgroup people as to how they were going to offer to pay it back.
So could you just bear with me, please? I want to know who the money is actually owed to.
The charity.
It's owed to the charity. Can the charity lend money?
Sorry?
I still do not understand how the debt can be owed to the charity, but the charity didn't lend them the money.
No, but if you have not paid...
I'll ask him, please.
If I've not paid my council tax bill, the borough council will pursue me. I owe them money. They haven't lent me anything.
Right.
The parish council or the charity, neither of them have lent money to the playgroup.
Right, so the playgroup didn't pay the rent.
They didn't pay their...
Is that right?
Yes, they didn't pay their...
Right, so it becomes a debt.
Yep.
So who do they owe the money to?
I've just said to the charity.
To the charity?
Yep.
Right, so how could you let this go on, that someone is not paying their rent? To the tune of £8,000. How long did it take to rack up £8,000?
Quite some time.
What does that mean? A week? A fortnight?
No, come on, it was...
I want to know.
I do not know the exact answer.
Right, so how could the council let it rack up to that amount?
If you were... Well,
I'll tell you what the answer is.
Thank you.
Right, the answer, the reason why the debt was allowed to rack up to such a high level, from what I understand, is that the playgroup was not sent the bills on time. And at the time, the playgroup was going through quite a period of turmoil for various reasons.
Why did you
Right.
question it as a councillor?
We did question
Earlier
it.
then.
But when we find out, see
Why
again,
have you waited until now?
no,
When you could have asked that question
if you like to listen and explain. When the councillors found out about the debt, we did question it.
What do you
And I
mean when
assure
they
you,
found
I
out?
questioned it, and I questioned it more than some of the Labour League did.
Is that why they chucked you off the finance committee,
Right,
Stuart?
can we move on to item C? Are there any
What steps are being taken?
You've asked your
Ask
question.
him what steps are being
You've asked
taken
your
to
question.
recover the money.
I am moving on. Are there any comments to be raised on planning issues? Right. To allow one question on a topic for which the parish council has a responsibility. No?
Yeah.
Yes.
What lady asked about skate park, really? Can we ask a question about skate park in that section?
Well, that's again, it's charity.
No, that's fair if I can.
I would leave it,
Yeah.
please.
Why? Can't it be discussed now then?
Through the chairman, ward members, have you got, Clive, anything to address? No? Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. You can see I've not sat here for
Can I just
3 years.
refer you back to that slide set, straight slightly off, the brief notes from the public session last time? I was asked a question as a ward councillor by Councillor Ireland as a resident, not as a councillor. He's had a reply to his questions from the appropriate strategic director of Rotherham. I've not heard anything from him. I've had a copy of that, so I presume he's happy with the responses he's raised. Since he's not here tonight, I just thought I'd clarify that it has been responded to his queries.
Okay, I think, if I'm right, that that's the end of the public session. To receive apologies of absence, they're in the book. That's for the feeders meeting. Any members' personal interest to be disclosed? Item 3, to receive notification of the need to comply
Are you
with
not going to
section
disclose an
2.
interest in Safe at Last?
Tom?
Are you not going to disclose an interest in Safe
Well, when
at
we get
Last?
to safe at last,
Well, you just asked if you've got any interest. And you haven't-
no. It's up for individual members to deal with their own affairs.
Oh, yeah, certainly, but...
To receive notification
Safe at
to comply with
Last,
section
you
2 of the
would
Local
expect it to
Government
be
Act.
their interest. Very rude talking over you.
Well, you're very rude to assume that you must make decisions
When
on
I'm
questions
talking,
of judgment by other colleagues.
when I'm talking first, it's very rude to talk over
Item
me.
4,
And you've just done it.
are there any items which the press and public may be excluded? I don't think there are. Right, okay, well, Michael says there might be one. I must admit, because I wasn't expecting to chair this, I've not studied it to that degree. If we get to it, we can raise it at the time.
Can I ask which one it is we're supposed to be looking at?
Don't know. To
Well,
confirm meetings,
Well, just now, I've
minutes.
asked a question. The chair has just said...
To identify it.
Right.
Identifying it or not.
The time...
No, there are two ways of handling this, as you will know. One is that you say now that question 93, subsection 2, will be considered in private, if somebody has marked that. The other thing is that when we get to an item, you suddenly realise that it will be wrong. You can then move it at that point. It doesn't have to be done now.
Chair, it's on the agenda to identify it now. We vote on it when we get to it, whether it's going to go into confidential session or not. That is how
It makes no odds whether we identify it now or at the time.
The client just leaned over to you and said there's a possibility there's an item thing. So now we're here to identify it. I'm asking now, can we identify it?
13.
There's no need for all this argument when councillors are doing the proper job by questioning what's going on. Stop arguing with us and just chair the meeting.
No.
14:13.
It is 14:13. Well, I know about this complaint about an allotment. You wish to receive it in private session or in public? Right, okay, thank you. We'll decide when we get there. Right, minutes of the meeting held on Monday the 16th of March. Would somebody like to move those as a correct record? All those in favour?
No, sorry, they're not correct.
Right.
Page 2 of 2.
Chair,
Hang on a moment.
Yes, but
Under the item of Council Thornton's censure, I asked.
Right, Chair, this is not the public. This is not the part where the public play. Take part. So if you're going to uphold the rules, you have to
the
uphold
last
the rules.
meeting was extremely unpleasant for all concerned. Mrs. Thomas, what is it you wish to
I
clear?
just asked if it could be written in the minutes.
Right, I'm standing on a point of order, so now ask members of the public to now stop speaking, please, Chair.
Sorry?
And now you're ignoring me, and you're ignoring standing orders,
Right.
and you're doing it deliberately, so I'm asking you now, I'm standing on a point of order. We're in the part of the meeting.
What is the number of your point of
I'm
order?
making an explanation.
No, what is the number of your point of order?
You're going to chair this meeting, or you're just going to be obnoxious all the way through. Right? Members of the public, in this part of the meeting, as you're so careful to point out almost every meeting, are not allowed to speak. You're now asking us to approve the minutes. Members of the public, by any way or means, do not have a say on whether the minutes of the meeting are right or wrong. You know that, I know that, we all know that. You have just deliberately allowed a member of the public to speak in order to gain a personal advantage. So I suggest we go on to accept the minutes without the assistance of the public.
Thank you for that. Gordon.
13014.
Yes.
I accuse you of bribery and corruption.
Pardon?
You heard. Bribing me and corrupting me. Trying.
How?
By awarding me that prize. That best competition prize.
Okay.
What do you mean? Well, it's not down in the minutes.
No, because it's factually, it's total nonsense, Gordon.
No, it's not total nonsense.
He set you up, George.
He tried to.
Gordon.
You did bribe me, tried to bribe me, and you did try to corrupt me.
I sometimes wonder which planet we inhabit. I don't understand either what you're saying.
And I think that
Can I just go back to Mrs. Thomas?
No, we cannot. If Mrs. Thomas is going to speak, then I am.
Don't sit down.
I'm going to ask a question also, if Mrs. Thomas is allowed to speak. Right, I'll speak first. I want to know...
I'd like to withdraw.
When I stand on a point of order, Chair, when I stand on a point of order, Chair, you're supposed to stop the meeting and listen to what I have to say.
When a councillor rises on a point of order, they have to identify the number of the standing order that has been breached.
No, they don't. They can offer an explanation. Now listen.
When did you do
that? I've said to you once already. Yeah, either chair this meeting properly, honestly and fairly, or I would suggest you need to leave. Because you're not doing a service.
Ladies and gentlemen of the public, I know that there's a very small number of people that wish to see the parish council founder. I have never been of that inclination. I have
nothing to do with it.
I have served as a parish councillor.
What has this got to do with £8,000 that's owed?
1983. All you are trying to do is to stop normal people having a straightforward conversation. I am not prepared to be treated that way. You are behaving badly. You've already been censored by the Standards Board. This meeting is now closed.
Hooray!
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
40,000, 28,000.
I hope this is not going to be typical behaviour. I hope this is not going to be typical behaviour from the new council. What was that about expenses, Val? What was that about expenses from Rotherham Borough Councillor? Perhaps Dominic can tell you. He'll know all about it. Because he's a councillor, that's why. Not fit for purpose, councillor. Not fit for purpose.
I was only saying to Hillary today, we would cancel making Mrs. Collins and Hickman redundant.
We've got to complain. We've got to complain to the commissioners about jacking. I'm going to complain. If people complain, then we may. going to point out well, what you put on here is I'm going to write to the commissioners and request that they investigate the legal department headed by Jackson Collins. So are you going to complain to the commissioners?
One day away from answering the freedom of information request, and she's developing to the ICL.
She's pretty clear. Do not count your chickens. They're all slippery.
Some situation normal.
Is it safe to turn the camera off? And that's another thing we'll be looking at. Is he the bloke from the president? Yeah, I'll get that on the agenda.
Don't panic, Captain Manman.
Are you happy?
Oh yeah. They've all shrunk without a trace.
Well, I don't know about that, Colin. You've got to be vigilant, haven't you? Why is she sticking up for borough councillors with their expenses?
Who?
What's her name? Who just walked in?
Julie Thomas.
Julie, yeah, why is she sticking up for borough councillors with their expenses?
Because she's a Labour spokesman.
That's not a good reason, Colin. Does she really want all council tax to go on exorbitant expenses? Apparently, yes.
Right, madam.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, did you get to read Annie? Did you? What did you think?
I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, me too. Do you want to read it? It's about how women are treated in Iraq and Iran.
I'll Google that.
Pardon?
I'll Google it.
What, the story or the fight? Well, that's the story of a princess who
Beheaded.
no, she wasn't beheaded. No, it's nothing to do with that, Connie. Well, it may be in the way that it's the way women are treated.
Wahhabi sect. The Muslims.
They are Muslim, yes.
Sunnis are Wahhabi. Sunnis are Wahhabi.
I'll tell you what, I've got